Hello, my messies. It's me, Rose Messy, back with another messy video. Thank you for tuning in. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, share, ring that notification bell so you know every time I drop a messy video. Now, on to the mess. Okay, so I was scrolling through Instagram today and I seen this little short clip of Latoya Jackson.
Hi
Oh my
guys.
goodness, and how small she is. Now, she was always naturally thin. She never was a heavy girl. She won't like Janet if you eat a couple of In-N-Out burgers and some tacos and fried chicken and stuff like that. She gained weight. She wasn't like Janet. Janet was on the like the thicker side. She has to watch her weight. But Latoya was always naturally thin. And I was concerned about her. I did try to find some updated information about Latoya. She just looks emaciated to me. She looks very, very thin. I know in Hollywood, West Coast, they have this thing about, being thin. It makes you look younger. But in her particular case, she is so, so very thin, a little too thin. And I'm wondering if she's suffering from any anorexia or bulimia or something like that where she tries to keep her weight down because Latoya loves to be on reality TV. One thing about Latoya made her money by being on reality TV, okay? And she did it well. She was on the Trump show um, with Omarosa and all of them. And then she had her own reality TV show for about 2 years on OWN, Forever Latoya. She's been on several reality TV shows, so that's how she makes her money. But I just wanted to dig a little deeper into Latoya's life, just a little, maybe kind of probe and see if there's anything going on, or is she just thin? It may be a unhealthy thin, but she is thin, and we just concerned about you, Latoya, because we love you. I could just imagine her being the middle child of one of the most infamous musical talented families on the planet. The middle child, older siblings, and she had younger siblings. And I could just imagine her trying to find her way. So imagine you had the Jackson 5 with all the brothers, and even they included Randy once he got old enough to be in. Then you had Janet. She had her own career. Michael soloed from the Jackson 5, and he became one of the world's biggest artists. And then, of course, Rebe was the older sister, but I think Rebe loved her life. She didn't like being in the spotlight. She was kind of shy, just like her mom, shy and gentle, just like Miss Catherine. So Rebe's life was okay with her. She was married. She had a couple of children. Her husband worked. I think she had a career as well. So I think Rebe was fine. But Latoya, she had kind of an up and down, relationship with her family through the years. She wrote a couple of books exposing allegedly abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse between her and her siblings from their father, Joe Jackson, and how their mom, she tried to protect them, but she couldn't. And then Catherine came out a little later and, kind of disputed the things that Latoya said that it wasn't true. She was over exaggerating. Of course, they were chastised because, back then we got spankings and things of that nature. And she said that Latoya was over dramatizing the childhood. But remember, a child's memory is a child's memory. Their reality is their reality. So I'm not going to dispute whether Joe was mean to them or he was a tyrant. He was a manager over their careers and things like that. So I just imagine Joe was Joe. As we've seen in the several documentaries, one thing they did depict about Joe was serious about the talent of his children and them getting it right and them being the very, very best. Sometimes that will be to a child as if he's being mean or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't in their home, but I do know he loved them the best that he knew how. And I think he was just he just wanted them to be the best. But my concern about Latoya was just that she is so small. She looks so emaciated, and she reminds me of Michael right before he passed. They favored so much after Michael changed his looks, when he bleached his skin or the vitiligo or whatever he had, the condition he had. She reminds me so much of Michael before he passed. That very thin, frail look, that pasty white skin, with hardly any coloration. And at the end, when she sat down, I'm gonna play the video clip from the Instagram post that she posted.
Hi
How she
guys.
sat down and looked up. That she didn't seem like she was happy. And I could just imagine she's 68 years old. She's almost 70. So we do have to give an account as Latoya isn't a young girl anymore. Neither are we. Neither is Janet. God forbid anything would happen to her. But they just lost Tito. That could have took a devastating
Hi
toll on her.
guys.
They just lost Tito. Michael is gone. Joe is gone now. And Latoya, I feel that she wears her issues on her heart. Now, we know that she did help Catherine take care of the children when Michael passed. She loved those children. She was there for them. She loved Michael. She had her own alleged reasons why Michael was, he came to his demise. Latoya was saying that Michael was, took away from here against his will. That it wasn't him, that someone hurt him. So she made those allegations as well, of course. That buzzed around for a little bit and then it went away. But just want to do a small piece about Latoya's life. We do know that she had a very tumultuous marriage, very bad marriage to this man, um, Jack Gordon. Just going to give a little bit of history about him. There were claims that he tried to sell, this is all alleged, this was back in the day, that he tried to sell her to Mike Tyson years ago. And that, he wanted, anyway, men like Jack Gordon, Tony Mottola, that's the same way he tried to do Mariah. Men like that, beautiful women. You don't have to be from a famous family. You don't have to be in the industry. This is just everyday Joe Snows and Jane Does. For some women, men are very intimidated by their beauty, by their talent, by their education, their persona, their aura, and men like to break you down. And that's from any race. It's this Tony Mottola and Jack Gordon were not black men. If I'm not mistaken, they both were some kind of Italian descent. Not taking anything from Italian men, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's men, period. Some men do not like women to be in their own. And when a man really loves you, he loves you for who you are and all that you bring to the marriage and all that you are as a person, instead of trying to break you down. And Jack Gordon did the same thing that Tony Mottola tried to do to Mariah Carey. Now, the Jackson and Gordon were married on September 5th, 1989 in Reno, Nevada. According to Jackson's autobiography, the marriage was both unplanned and against her will. She later stated in an interview that Gordon tricked her into the marriage by brainwashing her into believing that her family was going to attempt to kidnap and kill her. What started as a business relationship soon turned into an abusive partnership. Gordon was arrested twice for second-degree assault against Jackson. Jackson also filed a gender-based lawsuit against Gordon before filing for divorce. Now, Gordon repeatedly used Jackson for a quick profit in 1996. Gordon attempted to force Jackson to dance at a reading. Excuse me. Gordon attempted to force Jackson to dance at a Reading, Pennsylvania strip club. Oh my God. Called Al's Diamond Cabaret. She refused to do so and in return was booed and heckled by the crowd, who paid to see her strip. Reading Eagle, Reading, Pennsylvania published a date January 6, 2007. She refused and returned home to be beaten. It was at this point that Jackson left Gordon and immediately filed for divorce and a domestic violence injunction. He was real mean and nasty and ugly to her. And it was her fame that he wanted. He didn't love her. He wanted to break her down. He wanted to take her sense of self from her. And men are like that. Some, not all. When they're insecure. And he projected his insecurities on Latoya. She was just a come up for him, a bag, So From the final divorce decree, Gordon was ordered to return all of Jackson's fur coats, photographs, videos, and furnishings. He was also ordered to forego his rights to any of Jackson's contracts that she signed during the marriage, including those with Sony Music Entertainment, BMG Music, Playboy Entertainment, and Penguin Dutton Books, because Latoya wrote several books. Jackson was awarded full ownership of the Las Vegas apartment where the couple resided during their marriage. Okay? As a part of the final judgment, Jackson's maiden name was restored. The documents specified and states that her name was changed from Latoya Jackson Gordon to Latoya Jackson, thus eliminating her former middle name of Yvonne as part of her legal name. The judge also ordered that Gordon was strictly forbidden from utilizing the likeness of Jackson in any newspaper, magazine, tabloid, or any promotional media, and that any violation of this order would result in severe sanctions. The order concludes with a response to Jackson's petition for a restraining order against Gordon. It was ordered by the court that Gordon and Jackson were both strictly prohibited from going within 100 feet of each other, whether it was a workplace, a residence, or any member of each other's family. Okay? Gordon was ordered to provide Jackson with $350,000 settlement and pay $15,000 to cover Jackson's attorney fees. Jackson later stated in her autobiography, Starting Over, that Gordon did not pay her the $35,000 settlement that she was awarded. He didn't pay it to her. And I just imagine she had a hard time trying to get that money out of him. And she probably just let it go. Because, anyway, she was blessed anyway because she started doing reality TV. She had her own reality show, like I stated, on OWN. It was called Latoya Forever, or Growing Up Latoya, or something like that, if I have it wrong. And so she's been able to sustain herself, and I'm sure that Michael and Janet and all of them, I'm sure maybe they helped her along the way, but I think she did fairly well for herself without him. But that's okay, because where is he now? Where is he now? I couldn't even find any information on where he is now. But that's okay, because God got Latoya, okay? It doesn't matter. Now, of course, she did the Latoya Growing Up Jackson. Latoya Growing Up in the Jackson Family was one of her autobiographies. And she did make some accusations in that about her father at the time. And in the autobiography, Jackson accuses her father, Joseph, of child abuse and goes into detail on the personal lives of her superstar siblings, Michael and Janet, as well as Jermaine, Randy, Tito, Rebe Jackson's struggle under the spotlight. Catherine Jackson, Joseph denied all of the allegations initially, and you all remember that if you were old enough back then. However, Michael confirmed on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1993 that Joseph's beatings were every bit as extreme as Latoya claimed. So like I said, children have their own realities, their own memories of their childhood. We can't take that away from a child. It says you can have two siblings that say the same thing, and then they may see things totally different. You never know. At the time the book was written, Jackson was married to her reportedly abusive manager, Jack Gordon, who she now accuses of inserting his own stories into the autobiography to embarrass her family and to make her appear to be a drama queen, because that is what her parents said in some of the interviews, that Latoya was over dramatizing their childhood. But remember, Michael did say that Joseph did spank them. They did get beatings. Jackson reunited with her family in the late 1990s after leaving Gordon. On her interview with Larry King in 2003, she said that she respectfully accepted her father's apologies for the way he treated her and her siblings as children. The autobiography was reissued under various titles throughout the 1990s. The original hardcover edition spent several weeks at the top of the New York Times bestseller. In the weeks leading up to the release of the book, Gordon ordered that the transcript be kept in high security vault out of fear that the Jackson family would attempt to sabotage the project. Because remember, he had something to do with the book. And he knew that he would gain something from that book, from the book deals. But just getting back to Latoya and her health, again, I said Latoya's 68. She's not a young girl anymore. She always was naturally thin, but this is just so thin for her to be. Sometimes we see ourselves in the mirror and we're not what we see. The mirror tricks us. Well, it's not really the mirror, it's our brain. And when she looks in the mirror herself, she may see this beautiful, lovely girl that looks okay. She's thin, but she may not see herself as that thin. Just like myself, I may look in the mirror, I'm overweight. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I'm not that overweight. But actually I am, So it goes both ways. So she was already naturally thin, but now she's so thin. And I've heard some doctors say, even Dr. Oz, sometimes the older you get, you need to keep a little weight, a little muscle weight, and a little weight in your face to make yourself look healthy, and not to try to be so thin. I'm just worried about her. I am hoping that Janet, check on your sister. Check on your sister. Who's left? Jackie, Marlon, Randy, Jermaine. Check on your sister, guys. Rebe, reach out to your sister. Check on her and make sure she's okay. She's a beautiful woman. We love her. We wish her all the best. But we don't want her to be suffering in silence. We don't want her to feel like she doesn't have anybody that she can reach out to. I know Miss Catherine is older now, and she may not want to worry her with any of her woes, or maybe she needs somebody to talk to. And I know Latoya has lots and lots and lots of friends, lots and lots and lots of people that love her. Please check on Latoya. If she's, if you see that, it's an eating disorder or something like that, she can get help. Eating disorders happen in all stages of our lives, when we're real young and at our older age, at our senior ages, okay? I just wanted to reach out. Somebody asked me, would you say something about Latoya? And I tried to put together something. I'm not up here to say ugly things about Latoya or anything. I just know that sometimes we look at ourselves one way, but when people are looking in, they see us a different way. And we don't want something to happen to her. We love them. They're a beloved family. They're part of music history. They're part of our culture. They're the fabric of our culture for Motown, and just growing up with them. And we don't ever want to see nothing happen to Latoya. So Janet, I'm commissioning you, because you're the younger sister. Check on Latoya. Is Latoya okay? All right, guys. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, share, ring that notification bell so you know every time I drop a message video. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about Latoya's weight or Latoya's life. Do you think she's okay? You think we're over-exaggerating? Maybe we're too worried about her. She's just fine. Maybe we see Hollywood actors and actresses and people that are in the show business that they don't age. When they do get older. So maybe that's it. I don't know, but drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about Latoya. Until next time, my messies, I love you all. Smooches.